The Ford Explorer got some upgrades for the 2025 model year. This is the ST line version, and it's also got the ST line street package, which means you're looking at 21-inch wheels with red painted calipers. The style here, nice and subtle, looks solid. You're going to find LED headlamps with fog lamps, a forward sensing system, and a front-facing camera. Blue Ford oval as always with the Explorer badge, and underneath the hood, the same two engine choices that were available for the 2024 model. So this one is the 2.3 liter EcoBoost. There's the 3 liter instead that's available in the Platinum optionally or standard in the ST. But this, 300 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. The Explorer only requires an 87 octane, so just regular fuel is all you need to use. You'll get slightly better performance out of a 91, but it's not necessary. The LED tail lamps in the back, slightly new. There's an Explorer badge, along with the rear park sensing system, a backup camera, and a rear wiper. Towing inside of the Explorer is possible. Towing capacity for the 25 is slightly less than the 24. So you're maxing out at 5,000 pounds, and that doesn't matter if you're in the 2.3 liter engine or the 3 liter instead. Power liftgate is available inside of the ride. Love those new tail lamps though. These look good. Along the back, nothing along the left outside of a woofer. Along the right, there's, there we go, 12-volt power point, a little light, and then releases for the third row seats. But before we get there, so a little storage tray underneath, even more storage underneath, mini spare tire available inside of this ride. You can see there's also some removable trays along the outside. Folding down the third row seats inside of the Explorer is now going to be a power process for the ST line. So you can fold down the left or the right independently, or left and right simultaneously. So just one button push and hold in order to do it. Gives you an incredibly flat fold. Folding down the second row seats is done just along the bottom here. So you're just going to pull in order to fold that seat down. But you do get a lot of cargo space inside of the ride when you have those seats folded down. Incredible amount of space. And then lifting up the third row seats is just a button push in order to do them both simultaneously. The only thing you have to worry about manual, lifting up the headrests. The side view mirrors inside of the Explorer ST line, power folding with turn signals and the blind spot monitoring system, along with a little side mounted camera. You can push here to lock the door, slide in with intelligent access to get inside. You're going to find the option 4 driver's seat memory because this one has the premium pack, which gives you a lot of extra options inside of the 2025 model. You've got power folding side views, as I mentioned, side view mirror control, along with some storage along the side, and then an upgraded 10-speaker audio system inside of this ride as well. Basic controls to your lights, power adjustable steering wheel with seats that have red stitching, and it's an ActiveX seating material, so it's a faux leather seat. Power adjustable seats, and because this one has the premium pack, the seats also have massage capability. Your push button start inside of the ride with a great looking start up. The steering wheel inside of the Explorer is heated. There's adaptive cruise control. There's also a smart voice assistant, so it utilizes a Google Assistant to do things like change climate. You can also make phone calls if you want to, change radio stations, things like that. Cluster screen is fully digital. The infotainment is new, so it's not built off of any Ford system anymore. It's based off of Google Android OS. So it's a completely different system. It's got Google Maps built in. You've got a ton of different options available inside of this screen. There's ambient light. Because we've got the premium package inside of this ride, full massage chair seats for both the driver and for the passenger here. Series of options, you've got wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay support. So through your phone, you could use Google Maps, Apple Maps, and Waze through Apple CarPlay wirelessly. And then Android Auto, you've got Google Maps and Waze. But there's Google Maps built into the screen, full YouTube video playback support as well. You're going to find heated first row seats inside of the ST line, heated steering wheel with all of your climate controls baked right into the screen. You've got a volume rocker here. You're going to find a 360 camera inside the ride, along with a wireless charge pad, a little hidden storage tray with a 12-volt power point and a USB-C and a USB Type-A power point as well. There are cup holders, a rotary dial shifter, electronic parking brake, driving modes for you to customize it to make it your own. There's also an armrest that features a few additional USB Type-C power points. Along the side, you've got a nice Explorer highlight, a glove box that's fully lockable with a great amount of space. There's also a nice mesh that follows all the way throughout the dash. The visibility overall is fantastic. There's a little Explorer highlight that you can see along the bottom side of the window on the passenger side. You're going to find an auto-dimming rearview mirror, basic controls for your cabin lights with the option for a full panoramic sunroof. It just opens things up so nicely. You're going to find a sunglasses holder, home link system, so if you've got a garage door opener at home, you can program it in. There's a ticket receipt holder, along with a vanity mirror that has lights built in. This extends out, blocking all of the sun that might be hitting your face. There's a 10-speaker sound system inside of this ride, so it's either going to be a 6, a 10, or 14 speaker, depending on your trim. Inside of the second row of the Explorer, there's the option for door sunshades. On the second row seats, you've got a little bottle holder up high and down low, along with a speaker. The seats in the second row are manual adjust, but they've got the option of sliding forwards or backwards to create more space for that third row. There are 2 different seating options for the Explorer. So you've got 2 seats in the front all the time, always going to have 2 seats in the back, and then it's either 2 or 3 seats in the middle row. So you do have the option for a bench seat configuration if you want it. I like the dual captain's chairs for the easier pass through to that third row instead. There are pockets behind both the passenger and the driver's side. There's climate control available for the third row, so you'd have tri-zone climate control. You can set something up different for the driver, for the passenger, and then for the second and for the third rows this way instead. There's the option for heated second row seats on the outboard, strictly outboard. So with the bench configuration, that middle seat would never be heated. You've got a USB Type-C power point, so 2 of them down there, along with the 150-watt wall plug, and then a few little cup holders, which is useful because this one doesn't have the middle seat, which would have cup holders built in. You've got a little hook and a light along the passenger side, and there's also a little hook and a light along the driver's side as well. But with the driver's seat set up for myself being 6 feet tall, in the second row I've got a good amount of knee space, foot space, and head space, an inch roughly there, which is still pretty solid. Getting into the third row can be done a few different ways. So you can shimmy to the back if you want. You can also grab the tab along the top and pull in order to get inside. Plenty of space back here, and even with the seat as far back as it's going to go, I still have knee space here. So I've got knee space, foot space, head space in the Explorer third row is tight. My head is like just touching. So kids are definitely going to be sitting inside of the third row, but there are anchor points back there, tethers behind the seats, and that's the same thing for the second row seats on top of that. You're going to find a little cup holder, some USB Type-C power points along the passenger side, a little cup holder along the driver's side. Up overhead, there's a vent control, a little light, and then getting out of the third row, you can lift the top there, or shuffle your way through instead. The 2.3 liter turbocharged engine has 300 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. So you need that power, and it is available there as an option. I don't know about you, but I've got a little bit of a lead foot, so I'm finding that I've got a tendency to drive with the adaptive cruise control system on. Love the system. You can use it on residential streets and highways, interstates, whatever the case may be. One big benefit is that if you've got it set at, let's say, 60 kilometers an hour, if the car in front of you slows down, yours is automatically going to brake. It's got a lane keeping system with full centering capabilities, so it can keep you perfectly balanced in your lane as you go. Fantastic system. It's not full hands-free driving with the regular adaptive cruise. That's where Ford's Blue Cruise system comes into play. The overall handling inside of the Explorer is pretty good. It's available in the States rear-wheel drive or four-wheel drive system instead. Canada, we've only got that four-wheel drive system available. The selectable drive modes are useful. You've got an off-road mode that's more for off-road purposes, slippery for wintertime, eco mode if you want to get the best possible fuel economy. But if you want the best bang for your buck out of the engine, you're going to want to go to that sport mode instead. So sport mode, in my opinion, is the best way to go. It's got a nice animation too. I love the animations that Ford has here. But what that's going to do is hold on to the RPMs a little bit longer to give you a sportier performance. The 300 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque inside of the Explorer as a default is fairly good, but you'll get better throttle response when you're in the sport mode. You just won't get fuel economy that's as good in comparison. The torque inside of this ride is going to get you to 100 fairly quickly, especially if you have it in sport mode. But like I was saying, if you want more of that eco-conscious driving for the best possible fuel economy, that is available as an option here as well. There's a bit of road noise inside of the ride, but you see here, Blue Cruise now. So the Explorer for the 2025 model has hands-free driving. So it controls the gas, it controls the brake, it's controlling absolutely everything for me. It's only available on highways and interstates, but it is a phenomenal system. Back up to speed. How do you complain there? The 2.3 liter engine is a small engine, but because Ford slapped a turbocharger on there, that's where all of this additional torque and the additional power comes from. If you're in the market for a Ford Explorer, any other Ford Lincoln vehicle, you want to check out Formula Ford here in Pickering. You can find their contact details down in the description of this video, but they're a phenomenal dealership to work with. You can find all of the build details for this specific Explorer down in the description, along with all the contact details for the dealership here. But if you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't yet, and until I see you next time, take care.